Welcome back to the Urban Schoolhouse,
where school is cool.
My name is Ebony Weisinger.
And I'm Chelsea Weisinger. And today we are going to be talking about how to identify career interests. Your career interests, right?
Right. How to identify your career interests.
Yes.
Yes. So today our target student is in the 7th through 12th grade, or what we would classify as secondary.
Yes.
Okay, secondary education. So we're looking to start putting our minds on what we want to do for a living.
What do you want to do with your life?
Right. Like, what kind of things do you enjoy? What kind of things are you good at? That kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's exciting.
Yes.
I mean, learning about different occupational opportunities is important for kids, because when you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, what they say?
An astronaut. Well, you can be an astronaut if you want, but you have to learn what it takes to be an astronaut.
Is that what they tell you?
They told me, I had a student tell me today actually that she wants to be a rich singer.
A rich singer, not just a singer.
A rich singer.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you what kids tell me they want to be. And this is over a 20-year span of asking kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? A football player.
Yeah.
A basketball player.
Athletes, yeah.
A police officer. Yes, sometimes I do get police officer. I never get teacher. It's like kids do not want to teach. But one thing that they say a lot, they say veterinarian. I'm telling you all these things because I feel like the scope of most kids' view of the occupational world is very, very
restricted.
Small.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I think they see shows on television, and that's how...
You know what? I have one student, he, for Halloween, he dressed up like a Menards worker, and then... I was like, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that idea? He was like, my mom works at Menards. So he wants to be a Menards worker too.
Oh, wow.
To save big money at Menards.
That type of ambition.
I mean, but it's like kids, they go by what they know.
And what they see.
So I just think that's a great example. Like, he sees his mom working at Menards.
Right.
And so he's like, I want to do that too.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, it's plenty
That's
of
just what they see, yeah.
You know, sometimes we look at organizations like Menards or Home Depot, and you just see the retail end of that. But there is a whole business end of those in the corporation aspect.
You know what? Even though I live in Michigan, I love me some Buc-ee's. If you don't know what Buc-ee's is, it's like a very big gas station, and it's a huge, like, they sell so much stuff there. You can literally buy anything at Buc-ee's. But I bring that up because... if you become like a manager or something like that, they make 6 figures. So people think that just because you're working
at a gas
station or whatever, that you're not making any money. That is not true. These managers, especially for like those really big corporations, you can create a very good life for yourself. So, you know, you just gotta see what's out there. Right.
Which leads me to another thing that we kind of pre-discussed, which is that, you know, college and the career path isn't always for everybody. So, I mean, we would like to think that all students go to college, or all students should go to college. But we know that's not the reality. So we have to be able to identify college goals and maybe vocational goals as well.
Yes.
Careers that lead, college and education that leads to certain careers like... electrician, and you can do vocational like plumbing, and all those types of jobs like do not necessarily require a 4-year degree.
Nope. But I think that kind of goes into hobbies, skills, and abilities, because some people, I think, to make it as simple as possible, I think it really boils down to like, what do you like and what do you dislike?
Right.
What kind of population do you want to work with? Do you want to work with people at all? Or do you want to sit... Like, me personally, I know I could not sit in a cubicle desk all day. I couldn't do it.
Why not?
That's boring. It would drive me crazy. I feel like I'd be wasting my life away.
Wasting your life away.
I feel like I'd be wasting my life away. That's just not for me. That's just not for me.
I got you.
And I have friends that do it. And same thing. A lot of my friends' jobs, I just couldn't do. Me, I love being a social worker. I love working in a school. I love having a job where no day is the same. That's more my speed. Some people like the cubicle because it brings consistency, which my job, there isn't consistency sometimes. Sometimes I have a plan for my day and it gets completely derailed. So that's the kind of stuff I like, though.
Yeah.
Or I have a story every day.
It's definitely a story every day. No day is the same working at a school.
Yeah, and then going to population, I always, well, not always, I used to not like kids, actually.
Right.
But as I got to maybe, like, college-ish, I would start to like kids. I took child development classes. Like, I became really interested in children. So as I kind of realized that was the population that I wanted to work with.
I don't know when I realized that, but I think I realized it pretty early on. I would say when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to work with children. So when we talk about hobbies, that's what we're talking about. Like, who are you and what do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? Because it's so important that you enjoy your job. Mm-hmm. I think you spend more time at work than anywhere.
Yeah.
So I would always think about who am I first. Like, you know, for me, I don't think that I could ever be a nurse or work in a nurse's capacity in any way.
No.
Because I can't deal with the blood. I can't deal with the bodily fluids.
I'm just not good at science.
I can't deal with you're sick and now I have to take care of you. The science.
The science part of it.
Course
the hours.
Exactly. And so for me, that would not be feasible. Mm-mm. So you would have to just really be able to self-evaluate. And we'll start talking about some tools you can use to do that. Another thing is your skill level. So when we speak of skill level, we mean what skills and abilities do you have? So skills, we think of, okay, well, maybe you know sign language. Maybe you know foreign language. Or maybe you're like Chelsea, a trained dancer. She has a skill in her art. Maybe you sing like your student who is going to be a rich singer. So, you know, maybe you have a skills that you can teach another person. Maybe you braid hair or, you know, I don't know. So that's what we mean when we talk about skills. Think about the things that you already know how to do, things that you would like to learn how to do more of or build upon. Say, for instance, you're an artist and you would like to learn how to draw buildings and become an architect kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so next I spoke of skills and then I also spoke of ability. So when I speak of ability, I speak of academic ability. I speak of your math, science, English wherewithal, and your gifts and talents as it relates to that. Some people are born mathematicians and they love it. Some people dread math and they do poor in it. I'm saying these things because I wouldn't want students to be thinking, oh, I really want to be a doctor, but they don't like science. Mm-hmm. But I really want to be...
math.
Or math.
Dosages, medicine.
They go hand in hand.
Because that can be that can be bad if you don't know that.
Or I want to be an English teacher and I don't like reading and I don't like math. I mean, I don't like writing. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. And so you just want to think about those things. Where do you do well? Where do you do best? Where do you get your A's and B's? And those are the places where you need to start in terms of looking at career choices. What you think about that?
Yeah, that usually gives you a pretty good indicator about where you're at. And also, do you really have the passion for it? Mm-hmm. Especially if you become a doctor, teacher, social worker. Areas where you're working with what we say like vulnerable populations. You're working with children, or if you're working in a hospital, you're working with sick people, sick folks. You're working with their families who are emotional because they're elderly because their loved one is sick. Can you handle that? And that's a lot.
It is a lot.
like even me, I'm a social worker, right? And I work in a school, and I have an emotional labor most of the time. But I know I couldn't be a hospice social worker where I'm dealing with people in their final moments and I'm dealing with their family. I know I can't do that much emotional labor. So it's the same field,
yes.
but there's different sectors in the field where I'm like, no, I know I wouldn't be able to
I
do
love that you said that because you can be a social worker in so many different places.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to know about careers and occupations, because teachers are needed everywhere.
Yeah.
Social workers are needed
not just
everywhere.
schools. There's teachers.
Exactly.
There's teachers in juvies.
Exactly.
There's teachers in hospitals. There's teachers
exactly.
everywhere.
In jail.
In jail, yeah.
Just like there's an infirmary in a jail, there's an infirmary at a college. Mm-hmm. There could be a doctor working there. They have mental health care everywhere, usually. And even in some organizations for employees, there's on-site mental health care depending on what your job is.
Yeah.
So I could see them having like on-site mental health care for people who deal with people who die often, because it's hard emotionally.
You know what I learned in grad school? They have social workers for vets, for people whose pets die.
Right.
For that emotional labor. So, yeah, I think there's always an umbrella for each field. There's an umbrella for things that you can do and where you can work.
Absolutely. And I don't want to skip over about checking schools, but we're going to talk about it a little bit later, how you can find out the different types of places you can work with your skill set later on with the Occupational Outlook Handbook. But before we do that, Chelsea had a really good idea, and that is to check with your school.
Yeah. So check with your school. So when I was in high school, there were a lot of different programs that could prepare you for a field that you were wanting to go into. At least for Michigan high schools, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, if these are national things. They are? Okay. So like HOSA, HOSA was for high school students who want to go into the medical field one day.
Health Occupation Students of America.
Yes. So they would go to like conventions or different things like that with other schools, and you could practice, like on dummies or something.
CPR.
Yeah. All that good stuff, all the basic stuff that like a medical professional would have to know. DECA. What does DECA stand for?
Oh.
Ooh.
I know that DECA has connections with marketing. Mm-hmm. So the students who are into sales, marketing,
like business,
are the students who deal with DECA.
Mm-hmm. So, and also some schools have culinary arts things for students that want to go into that. Some schools might have cosmetology fields, opportunities, things like that. So, yeah. So you can do whatever interests you. I also know at my high school they had like robotics, engineering type things that kids could get into, which gives them kind of like a little open opportunity for the field that they are thinking about getting into.
Definitely. And I think it's important to check those types of things out while you're in school, because it's free. Yes. Like if you go to cosmetology from your school and you decide you don't like it, it's okay because you haven't paid for it. And it's not like I'm saying just try it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. I'm not saying it like that, because the kids usually use that as a real opportunity. So it's a competitive spot. Mm-hmm. So if you're not into it, like you said, if that's not your passion, you shouldn't waste a spot. But if you really are into that, you could try it. And there's nothing wrong with trying and learning that something is not for you. Right. And I think that that's the important part of career education, because it's important to find out what is not good for you before you go get a degree
in something, yeah.
In something that you barely even like, which happens to people
all the time.
Okay, so I want to talk about also other programs that you could check with your school about. We talked about these in our mini series the last one we had.
Small plug.
Small plug, shameless.
Shameless plug.
But we'll go into it again, which is to take all the classes that your school provides that's in the area that you have an interest in. So if you have an interest in accounting and your school offers accounting 1 and accounting 2, take both levels, Or if you want to be a French teacher, take all the levels of French that you can take. Or if you want to be an athlete, like some of these kids, they say, oh, I want to be a football player. Well, then you should take all the gym classes that you can take. Like as far as your electives, they should all be gym. Or arts, if you want to go into artistry of some sort, which could be drama, dance, band, choir, just take all of the advanced level classes that they offer at your school.
And connect with your teachers, because they definitely have resources and networks they can probably connect you with. They most likely have colleagues that they can set you up with.
Absolutely, they do.
At the next level. Because I was on the dance team in high school, and even my dance teacher, she had connections to different colleges and their dance program directors, things like that. And we would go to different, like I know we went to Wayne State in downtown Detroit, and because they have a very good dance program. So we had opportunities like that as well. So you never know.
Right. Always ask with your school. Also about dual enrollment. And dual enrollment, we also spoke about during the mini-series about college. But dual enrollment is an opportunity for a high school student to go to maybe a community college. Sometimes it's a university in the area that has programs or classes beyond what they teach at the high school level. Mm-hmm. So if you've exhausted all the art classes at your high school level and you decide, hey, I want to get more out of my senior year, I want to take dual enrollment. And so you go to your school counselor and ask about how you can do dual enrollment. And it's as simple usually as signing up and registering for the college, and your actual school pays for the tuition.
Yeah, and you hop on a bus, go to the community college,
earn the credit,
and you come back.
And then you are a high school senior who has already acquired college credit.
My freshman year of college, one of my roommates, she did dual enrollment. And so in college, they have freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, I guess, but they usually say, oh, I'm a first year, I'm a second year, I'm a third year, fourth year, sometimes a fifth year. That's okay.
Slow motion.
Yeah. But it doesn't really go by your grade per se. It goes by how many credits you have. So credit-wise, my roommate was a sophomore or a second year, while it was her first year though. But she already had so many credits from dual enrollment. She was ahead. She was about a year ahead.
That's
credit-wise,
awesome.
yeah.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So to put yourself in the best position, that's how you do it. Mm-hmm. That way you're figuring out what you like, what you're good at, what you don't like, and you're preparing to move forward by getting credits and not needing to acquire a bill behind that. So I think that that's what a student who is really interested in career development would do. Okay, so I just want to back up and talk about educational development plans. Most schools here in Michigan require students to begin working on an educational development plan, or EDP. And that is something that a student would start doing at school. So school offers educational opportunities to learn about careers. We use a program called Zello. It's spelled XELLO. And that's how our students develop their EDPs. But I've seen different computer programs over the years. So again, check with your school to see how your school implements a career development program. But the biggest component that I love is the interest inventory, where a student can go ahead and answer questions like, do you like working indoors or outdoors with children, by yourself, with animals? Do you like heights? Do you like to work with animals, kind of thing? And then it develops a profile for you of different occupations that you might enjoy or might be skilled at. And then after you start to read each occupation, it develops into what it takes to become that occupation. And it's just really a nice way for students to become familiar with the steps that it takes to become a professional. So I really do love that program for that reason. And every year they update it.
Ooh.
Yes, because we know that we change every year. We might get introduced to different jobs and occupations in a year, and we might decide, hey, I really wanted to be a veterinarian, but now that I've been exposed to marine biology, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And what about another type of interest inventory that a student could use if they don't have an interest inventory right at their school or at their fingertips?
So you can go on ONET, so that is ONET, ONET, interestprofiler.org, and it's just a 30 questionnaire, 30 questionnaire.
30 question questionnaire.
30 question questionnaire. And it's very simple phrases, talking like, do you like to record and edit music? Do you like to do engineering type stuff? Do you like to work with kids? Do you want to, like just basic kind of career phrases. And then it goes from a scale of strongly dislike to strongly like. And so then you just go through all of that, and then it kind of tells you where your interest lies. I actually did the profiler myself, and clearly my interest was more so social. Mm-hmm. So being teacher, social worker, different type of therapist, mental health counselor, things like that, that was on my list. And then it tells you like what's the average salary, I guess nationally, for all of those, and then it gives you steps on how you can actually achieve that career. And it was completely free. It's from the Department of Labor. Yeah. From the federal government. So completely free. It took me not even 5 minutes. So it can give you a little bit more of an idea of what you want to do if you're not completely sure.
And that's important, especially for students trying to broaden their horizons and learn more. It's one thing to put in, I want to be a vet, but it's another thing to put in all your interests, skills, and abilities, and then a whole list of different occupations come out for you. And then that way you can learn about different occupations and broaden your mind. Mm-hmm. So also I wanted to talk about the Occupational Outlook Handbook. I mentioned it earlier. It is also put out by the Department of Labor each year. Now, what I love about that tool is not only that it's a governmental tool. You could Google OOH, Occupational Outlook Handbook, .gov, and it talks about the projection of the careers in terms of where they'll be needed, if they'll be needed in the future, and what the projections of the salaries look like in the future, which is important, especially for students who are planning now for the future. But it gives projections, and because they're able to keep up with the amount of money that's being made in those fields every year, and they're updating them as well. And it's also talking about like in the state that you live in, you can get it down that specific. So you can say, how much do social workers in Michigan make? And that way it's more specific to your geographic location, which we also will discuss as well. But I just don't see geographic location as being one of the major reasons, but I definitely want to talk about that too in terms of like selecting a job.
Yeah.
So the Occupational Outlook Handbook and ONET .org we will put on our social media in order for people to be able to access that. So check it out. It'll be on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And then going back to geographic location, I think that does matter. I mean, at least for social work, it usually goes by the cost of living in that state. Obviously, like if I was working in New York City, I make a lot more money because it's really expensive to live in New York City.
The cost of
more
living.
Expensive to live there than it does in Michigan. So that's an example, or like California. So for that, it goes by the cost of living in that state. But also, even like other fields like nursing in New York City, we gotta maybe take a subway commute or whatever, versus being a nurse in a rural area. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be different.
Or they have travel nurses.
They have travel social workers too.
Mm-hmm. They do. They have travel everything.
Therapists. Yeah, they have travel speech therapists, travel occupational therapists.
So if you like to travel, you don't have to be nailed down to a desk or a cubicle. You can become a traveling nurse. Mm-hmm. And things of this nature. And that's why it's so important to sit down and talk to people about what they do, because people do such niche so many different things.
Niche. It's niche.
Yeah. You would never even imagine some of the things that people do all day at work.
Yeah, even me. Because I think when people think about social work, they think about CPS. And that's it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think about so much more.
I've had people, but you've been exposed to social work. Yeah. Like people who only know probably what they see in like TV and movies. There's always the bad guy. Social work is always the bad guy. Usually, taking people's kids and doing home visits and what have you. Yes, it is social work. But there's so much more you can do,
right? And there's so many different places where you could work that don't involve taking kids away.
No, I'm like,
you can be at a hospital,
medical. You can work in a school. You can work in a clinic.
A jail.
You can be a therapist. You can work in a jail. Yeah. I can work
for corporations.
Any corporations, diversity training, things
actually
like
law
enforcement, police officers. Or police departments hire social workers, especially now. It's getting more popular for police departments to hire social workers for mental health calls and domestic violence calls, things like that. Things that officers aren't, really specialized in.
And that's really important.
That
can keep people alive.
Nonprofit work, working with unhoused people. Like, it's endless what you can do.
And they have social workers working with adoptions.
Mm-hmm. Adoption agencies.
Mm-hmm. Just to make sure everything runs smoothly and to keep eyes on the child. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot. And then in terms of guidance counselors, I don't know what people think about guidance counselors, but that job is a catch-all. I mean, sometimes I feel like a mother, a grandmother, a teacher, a counselor, you name it. I've been that all in one day, it seems.
100%. I think we work in a school period. You're like half your title, half a parent.
Exactly. And that's another topic. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like the grandparent of the school, like the teachers are the parents. And I feel like
I'm like the fun auntie. I'm like, you got in trouble? Come on, man.
And that's what it's about. Like, you got in trouble, so now you got to come talk to me. Mm-hmm. And so, I do the whole grandma spiel. You can be the auntie. I think I used to be more of an auntie, but I'm older now, so I'm so much older than the kids.
I was talking to one of my coworkers about this because she was laughing how I love all the baby kids, and I was like, I do. Like,
Chelsea, what is a baby kid?
They bad.
The bad kids.
They bad. Like, but I love them. Like, that's my bread and butter. Like, I love building a relationship with them. Mm-hmm. And I love being the one person that's telling them, no, I believe in you. I think that you're a good kid. I know that you have more in you, because that's not what they get told. So right. I love being that one person that tells them otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I pride myself on being that one person that's never going to discourage a child's hopes or dreams. I mean, I like to be real and keep it real and be realistic about hopes and dreams. I'm never the one that's going to tell a child, oh, you will never become a that or this. I've never done anything like that. But if I have those thoughts in my head in any form, I just try to educate the student on what it takes to become what that thing is. And usually by the time I finish educating them on what it takes, they'll realize it themselves if they're not really made of that, you know? And that's my goal. I'm never going to be the one to shoot it down, but I want to teach them. You might think that this is good for you, but let me show you what it is. And let me let you know what it is so you can say, oh, you're right. Or I don't know, maybe this isn't for me. But one thing I wanted to go back on is to say that just because a student isn't good at math or good at science or good at, you know, anything like that, they can develop those skills in summer programs. Mm-hmm. And STEM programs and things of this nature. So I'm never about giving up. If a student doesn't have the aptitude or ability to meet a goal, then they can work harder.
Yeah. Also, parents lean into your child's interests.
Absolutely.
Lean into them. It might not
like
be
what
you want for them, or it might not be what you imagine maybe. But lean into it. If your kid likes to whip up little potions, take them to a chemistry camp. You
Absolutely.
know? And some places offer free ones.
Absolutely.
So when you kind of see them picking up on a niche,
do it anyways.
Yeah, tap into it. Right. If they don't know what they want to do, take them to different things.
Exactly. They have culinary arts schools that do summer programs.
At Home Depot, they do like little workshops for kids. They do.
Builders. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then they also have so many opportunities for kids to volunteer to help other kids. So if you have a children's hospital nearby, kids can actually go in and read to other kids so that they can see what the doctors and the nurses are doing firsthand. And to see how it feels to work inside of a hospital. Mm-hmm. People can also job shadow.
You can go, honestly, in most fire departments, you can just go to a fire department and ask for a tour or ask to talk to your kid. And then they have
these go to work with your mom day or go to work with your dad day. Bring your kid to work day is what it's called. And then also career days.
Yeah, I was going to say.
At the schools.
Yeah, my elementary school had career days where like the fire department would come, the police department would come, things like that. And like different parents would come. Like I had peers whose parents were just entrepreneurs, so
absolutely
we'll talk about that.
I remember I did a career program during COVID when I was working in the elementary, and it was the most fabulous career development program I ever did because we were limited on how we could communicate, and we were on Teams online, and I had all the kids to dress up like what they wanted to become, and then they was talking about what they were, and it was such a fun time for us to all be dressed. The kids really leaned into that. They dressed up like chefs and doctors and lawyers and teachers, and it was amazing to watch that. So even though we weren't able to be together during that time, I found that was one of the best career development workshops I was able to do with students. So
that's awesome.
I enjoyed that. I think they would always remember that too.
That's awesome.
Okay, so we did it. We talked about how to identify career interests. Okay, and I think that we gave some really good ideas and resources. What do you think? You think we covered everything?
I think we did great. And I think my biggest thing for parents is lean into what your kid likes to do.
And same thing for kids. Lean into your own interests.
Believe in yourself.
Absolutely. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, when they have those girl states or boy states over the summer, sign up. Go.
Yeah, most hospitals are also teaching hospitals. You can always shadow.
Yes. Go to work with your aunt or uncle who works at the hospital. Or even if you can't stay the whole shift, see if you can just come for an hour or two. And always ask questions. Show up for yourself. Do your best with your grades.
Yes.
Because
especially if you have to go to college for what you want to do.
Absolutely. All right. So what about our social media shows?
Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Urban Schoolhouse Podcast.
At
Mic
the
drop.
Urban Schoolhouse podcast, mic drop.
Yes.
Where school is cool.
Yes.
And then we're going to be setting up some resources on the Instagram.
The interest finder.
The interest inventory.
Yes.
And the occupational outlook handbook, a link, okay?
Yes.
All right. So we'll see you guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
Next week on the Urban Schoolhouse, where school is cool.